It's Monday. It's morning.
It's macabre.
Oh, Phil, you beat me to the recording. Did he do the intro?
He did. Yeah, you missed it.
I was late.
I wasn't even sure you were going to show up.
I honestly, I was stuck in traffic. Let me tell you, I flew in and boy, are my arms tired. But here I am.
Good. You're on did you check the 405 day?
Oh no! End my life. Hey guys, welcome to Monday Morning Macabre, the show where we talk about spooky, creepy stuff with Scones and Darcy. I am Darcy, that is Scones,
and Phil,
and Phil for season 3, I guess.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah, us three have really just
we've really kicked it up a notch. Whoa,
Notch is
kicking.
Look at that,
dude! Kick my notch, daddy.
Kicks Notchington, my favorite English footballer.
Yeah, if you guys could tweet at us, #KickMyNotchDaddy, that would be great. We can get it trending. Welcome to the, I guess, Thanksgiving episode, right? Because this will be the last one to go out before Old Turkey Day rolls around. If I'm not mistaken.
Turkiest of days, for sure.
The irkiest turkle of Dirk and Duncan's, and
it's gonna be cranberry sauce. The new Taylor Swift album's gonna be playing.
What a dream come true.
Okay.
Drown me in Chardonnay.
Can I say something? Say
anything, baby.
I'm not throwing any shade at Taylor Swift.
But
she's hustling
we're gonna
the
get DMCA
whole world.
Oh, with the re-releasing of her old music?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. And again, respect to her. No fault of her own. If you can make millions of dollars just putting out the old thing, this is
season 4 of this podcast is just gonna be season 1 re-released.
No, it's gonna be we're doing season 1, the Scones cut.
Ooh, I like
when
that.
I break away from slinging dingers from that deal that I agreed to, but now I think it's unfair.
Exactly.
Again, please don't come at me, Taylor Swift fans. I know that's like a fan base where people if you talk. Yeah. I've never been part of one of those fan bases, and I kind of want to know what it's about.
I think it's too culty. I feel like if you're an adult and you're making constant things about an artist or a group, it's weird.
Yeah, you love a musician so much that if anyone says anything even remotely truthful about them, it's like they threatened your family with a gun.
Yeah. Scones, what are you thankful for this year? Let's go around the table, gang. Everyone hold hands.
Let's see.
And we're all going to talk about you have clammy hands, Phil.
Yeah, I know.
Phil, is this melted ice cream on your hand?
Oh, you found out.
Phil, did you get into the ice cream in the freezer?
Guys, stop, please.
Phil, why didn't you use a spoon?
I don't know how to use utensils.
Oh, that's
sad. Why don't you?
It's a valid excuse, though.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know how to use them? They're very straight. It's just a tool. It's just a straightforward shaped
You just
object.
dip and then in the mouth.
The thing you did with your hands, do the same thing.
Yeah,
but
really.
Use the spoon.
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Fancypants.
Yeah, I guess Phil came from Phil really rose from the ranks. Came from nothing.
Came out from the mud.
And I'm thankful for him.
I think we're all thankful for Phil this year. Phil, what are you thankful for?
My wicked hot car.
His hot car? Phil,
hot
you say
car?
your hot
He
car?
said he has a wicked hot car.
That sounds pretty sick.
That's super cool, Phil. You don't know how to use spoons, but you can drive a super hot car.
A very hot car.
What makes it hot exactly, Phil?
Oh, it's red, baby.
Oh,
wait, it's wet or red? I didn't catch that.
Yeah, Phil, was it wet or red?
It's red, baby.
Okay.
I didn't.
I don't think we know. So I think we're at an impasse here, Phil. But I'm glad you've got a very hot car. Scones is going to be presenting us with the Phil. Quiet down. With today's topic. So, Scones, why don't you give us a little preamble? Oh, we lost them. I heard Distant Giggles, which is also the name of my new indie shoegaze band. But
it's the name of my internet horror creature, my internet cryptid.
Oh, yeah, I like that. My not S&P 500. My SC. What is the S? What am I trying to think of?
I don't know. You're yelling graphics cards at me.
No, not SSP. Wow, people are yelling right now. SCP? SCP Foundation, is that what it is?
The ICP?
Not the Insane Clown Posse. The I think it's SCP.
The FCC won't let me be?
I'm going to Google this afterwards and yell at myself. No, it's like the internet, like stories of like a secret organization that has all sorts of like different monsters and stuff and anomalies. It doesn't matter.
It sounds sick. It sounds like a future episode, so keep that in mind.
No, it's not real. It's like a
lot of the stuff we talk about isn't real, so
that's true. That's true. Oh, it is the SCP Foundation.
So true, dude.
Anyway, shout out to the SCP Foundation. Our listeners probably know what's up. Hashtag what was it? Thank your turkey daddy or something like that.
Tank that turkey daddy.
Tank that turkey daddy. Scones, what are we talking about this week?
On our most thankful of episodes, we're going to be, I'm thankful for a listener's suggestion this day.
Ooh, who are we thankful for this year?
We're thankful for a longtime listener. You know him, Dars. He's a serial suggester.
Oh, Mark Jacobs.
Yes, Dakota Riggs or Lucas Riggs, depending on the lunar cycle.
Cody Daiquiris. How you doing, buddy? Welcome back to the show.
What is current lunar?
My car goes wicked fast.
Really fast, Phil? Ooh, it's a waning gibbous, almost full.
Ooh.
We're just on the other side of full, so I think it's a Dakota Riggs.
All right, quick question. Would you rather wane a gibbous or gain a wibbis?
Oh, gain wibbises all day.
Yeah, dude, I've been gaining
passive income.
Yeah. Honestly, the coin's going to blow up soon. It's going to 10x, I guarantee it. Buy wibbis.
Rip to you, dude.
Anyway, yeah, big rip to me. It doesn't matter.
He tipped us off. He was like, hey, check out this fucked up shit. And we're like, hey.
And you're like, hell yeah, bro.
Hell yeah, dude. Came to the right fucking place. Because today we're talking about Sylvia Likens, the 16-year-old who was tortured and murdered. Band. Slap the bass.
Vroom vroom.
Yeah, a little. How'd you get your car in here, Phil?
Oh, it's so hot.
Yeah, the fumes are kind of making it hard to read, though.
It's hard to breathe. We're in a closed space, Phil.
No, but Dars, goddamn, look, that thing's hot.
Yeah, that's a fine hot car. I'm pulling on my collar right now and going, shoo-wee mama. Because that's a hot car. What is that, a 94 Honda Civic, Phil?
Yeah, baby.
Excellent, Phil. Excellent.
Dang, that thing is hot. Hatchback?
Ooh, a hot hatch.
Hothatchies.org/raise me up, Lord Jesus Christ.
We're giving the people a lot of hashtags to have to remember this episode.
This is a silly giggles episode. So Scones, Sylvia Lycanthropy.
Yeah, we're gonna bring you the info from the source with the most, allthat'sinteresting.com, with a great article by Mark Oliver.
With the
I barely know her.
Sylvia Likens.
The name of the
Oliver, I hardly know her.
The name of the article is Sylvia Likens, the 16-year-old who was tortured and murdered by caretaker Gertrude Baniszewski.
This sounds sad.
Well, it's not getting happier.
Let's go, macabre baby.
And boy, these fumes of this car. In 1965,
I'm getting lightheaded.
In 1965, Sylvia Likens and her sister Jenny were left in the care of
hashtag fume me up, Scotty.
Fume me up, Scotty.
Hey, Scotty, fume me up. Anyway,
in 1965, Sylvia Likens and her sister Jenny were left in the care of family friend Gertrude Baniszewski, who tortured Likens to death and got her own children to hell.
That got very,
yeah,
straight to the point.
Sure was. In 1965, 16-year-old Sylvia Likens was sent home from a family friend. No, hold on. Let me start this all over again. These fumes
Scones
are...
Scones, can you give us a good rewindy noise?
Yeah, hold on.
Wow.
In 1965, 16-year-old Sylvia Likens.
I'm very impressed I didn't hear much of it, but what I heard, it sounded very good.
In 1965, 16-year-old Sylvia Likens was sent to the home of a family friend, Gertrude Baniszewski, while their parents were traveling, but Likens never made it out alive. Gertrude Baniszewski and her children.
Why are you having so much trouble saying Gertrude?
Gertrude Baniszewski and her children tortured Sylvia Likens to death. The perpetrators even managed to involve an entire neighborhood of kids to help them commit this brutal murder.
It's like Children of the
This
Corn?
is my nightmare.
This is horrific.
As the autopsy in the Sylvia Likens case later showed, she endured unimaginable torment before she died.
Boy.
Nevertheless, her killers faced almost no justice at all.
This is going to be one of the episodes that makes me go be sad.
Oh
for the
yeah,
rest
you're
of the
never
day.
going to be satisfied. I'll never be satisfied.
This reminds me, by the sound of it, of one of the cases that I'm like, I'm never going to talk about this one, which is for it's a Japanese girl who basically had the same exact thing happen. It sounds like, but continue.
How Sylvia Likens,
Jinko Furuta, I think her name is.
How Sylvia Likens came under the care of Gertrude Baniszewski. Sylvia Likens' parents were both carnival workers. Hell yeah. And were therefore on the road more often than not. They struggled to make ends meet as her father, Lester, had only an 8th grade education and a total of 5 children to care for. So stay in school, kids.
Yikes. Yeah, big moral of the story.
Jenny was quiet and withdrawn with a limp from polio. Sylvia was more confident and went by the nickname Cookie and had been described as pretty even though she had a missing front tooth.
Who was doing this description?
Woo-wee, she's purty.
She's beady.
Doesn't have any of those front teeth getting in the way. In July 1965, Lester Likens decided to take up with the carnival again while his wife was jailed for shoplifting that summer. So,
nice.
Pretty unstable home life, it sounds like.
Yeah, that doesn't sound great.
Sylvia's brothers, Danny and Benny, were put into the care of their grandparents. With few other options, Sylvia and Jenny were sent to stay with a family friend named Gertrude Baniszewski. Gertrude was every bit as poor as the Likens and had 7 of her own kids to support in her rundown home. Yeah, back then people hated making money, but they loved making kids.
Yeah, they're like, more things that require income.
She made little cash by charging her neighbors a few dollars to iron their laundry. She'd already been through multiple divorces, some of which resulted in physical abuse against her and dealt with a crippling depression through heavy doses of prescription drugs.
Okay, so this just sounds like depressing in every facet of this story.
Definitely not the kind of person...
Everything you've said so far is a bummer.
Yeah, definitely not the kind of person you want to leave your kids with.
Right.
This is why we really make the show top heavy with weird hashtags that you have to remember.
Yeah, this is... We get all the fun hee-hee-ha-has, and then we're just instantly into the depths of sadness.
People are monsters. Don't trust anyone.
Yeah. Hashtag monster people.
They did that.
Hashtag monster high dolls.
She was in no condition to take care of teenage girls. The Likens, though, didn't think they had any other choice.
Yeesh.
Lester Likens cryptically requested the Baniszewski straighten his daughters out when he placed them in her care for $20 a week.
That sounds... Okay, so it's not... Again, everyone involved sucks, it sounds like so far.
For the first 2 weeks, the Baniszewski, Sylvia and her sister were treated kindly enough, though Gertrude's oldest daughter, 17-year-old Paula Baniszewski, seemed to butt heads with Sylvia often. Then 1 week, their father's payment came in late. This is a quote, "I took care of you 2 bitches for 2 weeks for nothing," Gertrude spat at Sylvia and Jenny. She grabbed Sylvia by the arm, dragged her into a room, and closed the door. Jenny could only sit outside the door and listen as her sister screamed. The money arrived the following day, but the torture had just begun.
Jesus.
Gertrude soon began to abuse both Sylvia and Jenny in broad daylight. Though a frail woman, Gertrude used a heavy paddle and thick leather belt from one of her husbands, who had been a cop. When she was too exhausted or too weak to discipline the girls herself, Paula would step in to take her place. Sylvia, however, soon became the focus of the abuse. Gertrude Baniszewski demanded that Jenny join in, lest she take her sister's place as the brunt of the abuse. Gertrude accused Sylvia of stealing from her and burned the girl's fingertips. She took her to a church function and force-fed her free hot dogs until she was sick.
Oh.
Which is a wild thing to do.
That's such a weird... Yeah, this is
feeding her hot dogs?
Dude, something about that I hate. Like...
Yeah, hot dogs should be...
You should be enjoying glizzies, not being forced to eat them.
Unless you're like a competitive eater.
Right.
Then, as punishment for throwing up good food, she forced her to eat her own vomit. Okay.
Oh my God.
Not great. Not
Nope.
very cool. Dakota, you're
Not very cool. Dakota, what are you reading? What's your daily reading like?
She allowed her children, in fact, encouraged her children to partake in the abuse of Sylvia and her sister. The Baniszewski kids practiced karate on Sylvia, slammed her into walls and onto the floor.
What the fuck?
They used her skin as an ashtray, threw her down the stairs, and cut open her skin and rubbed salt into the wounds. After this, she would often be cleansed in a scalding hot bath. So this is like a house
like
of
literal psychopaths.
So this is
what the
it
fuck?
went from depressing to really scary and depressing, but like that's so scary.
But how do you not have any kind of moral compass that says, hey, maybe what we're doing right now is kind of fucked up and we should stop? Like, I don't.
I mean, they probably were abused growing up too, so they're like,
Oh,
everyone's
boy.
like mentally just gone in this situation. This is like The Strangers.
This is super dark.
Gertrude gave sermons on the evils of sexual immortality, which I don't know what the fuck that means, while Paula stomped on Sylvia's, on her,
boy.
Paula,
Okay,
who herself was pregnant, accused Sylvia of being with child and mutilated the girl's genitals.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Real graphic stuff.
What the fuck? What the
Sylvia was...
This is awful.
Yeah, this is real bad. The 16-year-old would then be locked in the basement without food or access to the bathroom. Eventually, the entire neighborhood would join in on the torture.
Holy shit.
Gertrude spread every story
everyone everywhere is awful?
Yes. Gertrude spread every story she could imagine to get the local kids to join in on the beatings. She told her daughter that Sylvia had called her a whore and got her daughter's friends to come over and beat her up for it. Later during the trial, some of the kids were open about how Gertrude had recruited them. One teenage girl named Anna Cisco recalled how Gertrude told her that Sylvia had been saying, "She said my mother went out with all sorts of men and got $5 for going to bed with the men." Anna never bothered to find out if it was true. Gertrude told her, "I don't care what you do to Sylvia." She invited her over to her home and just watched as Anna threw Sylvia down to the ground, beat her face, and kicked her.
Jesus.
Gertrude told her own children that Sylvia was a prostitute. Then she had Ricky Hobbs, a neighborhood boy, and an 11-year-old daughter, Mary, carved the words, "I'm a prostitute and proud of it," into her abdomen with a heated needle.
Jesus. I don't even have a remark. This is just...
It's really scary that an entire community
How can there be
could
so
be
many people
so
who are not
easily,
like, yeah, why aren't people
just
calling
told.
the cops immediately?
I don't know. I mean,
Where
I'm
did this
guessing
take place again?
this is in...
It happened in Indianapolis.
Man, the Midwest.
Yikes. Gee whiz. Okay. So how do they get off without any kind of anything happening?
"I'm going to die," Sylvia told her sister 3 days before she did. "I can tell." Gertrude could tell as well, and so she forced Sylvia to write a note in which she told her parents that she'd run away. Sylvia was also forced to write that she met up with a group of boys and given them sexual favors, and afterward they'd beaten her and mutilated her body. Shortly after this, Sylvia overheard Gertrude Baniszewski tell her children that she was going to take Sylvia to a forest and leave her there to die. A desperate Sylvia Likens attempted one final escape. She managed to get out the front door before Gertrude caught her. Sylvia was so weak from her injuries that she could not have possibly gotten too far, and with the assistance of a neighbor boy named Coy Hubbard, Gertrude beat Sylvia with a curtain rod until she fell unconscious.
Jesus Christ.
Sylvia was dead by October 26, 1965, from a brain hemorrhage, shock, and malnutrition. After 3 months of torture and starvation, she could no longer form intelligible words and could barely move her limbs. When the police came, Gertrude stuck with her cover story. Sylvia had been out with the boys in the woods, she told them, and they'd beaten her to death and carved "I'm a prostitute and proud of it" into her body. Jenny, though, took her chance. As soon as she could get close enough to a police officer, she whispered, "Get me out of here and I'll tell you everything." The police would then arrest Gertrude.
Good for her. At least there's someone with a... Oh, Jesus.
The police arrested Gertrude, Paula, Stephanie, and John Baniszewski, Richard Hobbs, and Coy Hubbard for murder. So there was an "and" in there that messed me up. But either way, neighborhood participants Mike Monroe, Randy Leopard, Darlene McGuire, Judy Duke, which Judy Duke is
Judy Duke.
that name when you say it out loud, and Anna Cisco were all arrested for injury to person. These minors would blame Gertrude for being pressured to partake in the slaughter of Sylvia Likens. Gertrude herself pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. She's not responsible, her defense attorney told the court, because she's not all here. Which is so, I don't know.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be like
That's
not
such a-
guilty with insanity. You should be guilty with insanity.
Yeah, right. You should still have to. Yeah.
There were several more children involved who proved just too young to be charged. Ultimately, though, on May 19th, 1966, Gertrude Baniszewski was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life imprisonment.
Okay. I mean, that's like the least. That's the minimum that should happen.
She was spared the death penalty despite her own lawyer admitting that, in my opinion, she ought to go to the electric chair. So, wow.
How?
Well, first of all, that makes him a very bad lawyer. And second of all,
yeah, that's. How can you?
Yeah, he's probably right.
Well, no, it's not even a bad. I mean, yeah, you're a bad lawyer, but like at the same time, how can that not be? How does the judge and jury not then be like, you're right?
Well, at that point, that's double
Let's do
jeopardy,
that.
isn't it? Once they give.
What do you mean?
Well, once they tell her life imprisonment, they can't change it.
I'm saying before. No. But I'm saying like if. Oh, he said. No, you said that the lawyer said this before the actual conviction.
It just said he
was-
admitted it, which
or
I assume
ruling
was after.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. I
Unless the
follow.
lawyer
Yeah,
said
yeah,
that
yeah.
in court, in which place that's
In my head,
wild.
he said it like as the yeah. Okay, no, that
I'm
makes more
guessing this is after the fact. He was interviewed and he was
Yes.
like, "Yeah, that lady was nuts.
sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
She should be fried."
Should be.
Yeah.
100%.
Paula Baniszewski, who had given birth to a daughter during the trial, was convicted of second-degree murder and was also sentenced to life imprisonment.
Okay, good.
That poor kid.
That's a bummer.
Your
but
mom's in
good.
jail for life, and she's probably like one of the most insane people ever. Dude, Gertrude Baniszewski, if anyone ever looks her up, she is exactly probably what you're picturing.
What you're picturing? Oh,
Wait,
man.
hold on. I'm going to send it to you, Darce. This is a great podcast thing.
Okay. All right.
Live
hold on.
reaction.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
So scary looking.
That is pretty. Yeah, she looks like she's gonna.
She's going to
do
clutch
all the
her
things she
pearls
did.
and then slap you off the head with them.
And then do way worse stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
This is like
anyone
this
else
is
get
like
in
the
trouble?
Wasp Mom final form. Paula Baniszewski, nope, I already read that. Richard Hobbs, Coy Hubbard, and John Baniszewski Jr. were all convicted of manslaughter and they were each given 2 to 20. No, they were given 2 to 21-year prison sentences based on the fact that they were minors. So they could do 2 to 21
So they
years.
could have done 42 years or 4 years.
Yes, I don't know why it weights it like that.
That is
but well, I guess because they could
wild
be.
range.
I don't know how each set of numbers is determined.
Right.
Well, anyway, the three boys would all be paroled just 2 years later in 1968.
That is not okay.
The 60s were scary, dude.
Yeah. This story it's essentially the same exact story as the one I was referencing, which sucks that this has happened more than once.
Yep. People are horrible. Again, if you're listening to this and you're thinking about meeting new people at any point in your life,
just don't
it's your
do
fucking funeral, dude.
Shit.
Don't meet anybody.
Yeah,
Don't trust new people.
Don't go outside. Just stay inside and you'll be fine.
Gertrude spent 20 years behind bars. There was no question about her guilt. The autopsy backed up everything Jenny told the police. Sylvia Likens had died slowly and painfully over several months. In 1971, both Gertrude and Paula were retried to the result that Gertrude was again found guilty. Paula pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of voluntary manslaughter and was sentenced to 2 to 21 years. I have a quick question for Scones. What's the difference between murder and voluntary manslaughter? It sounds like
great question.
six and a half a dozen.
That sounds like homicide with extra steps.
Yeah.
I don't know. Lawyers write in.
Yeah, all of you lawyers out there.
I know we have a strictly lawyer audience.
With all your fancy suits and your haircuts. Write in. We love you
So
guys.
let us know. Thank you for listening.
She once even managed to escape despite being recaptured. So Paula's crafty. She's out here escaping prison, which in the 60s, I guess people were just doing, like Ted Bundy, just fucking.
Yeah, you just walked out the door.
After about 8 years behind bars, Paula was released, and she moved to Iowa, where she changed her name and became a teacher's aide.
Wait, I thought she was in for life.
Well, apparently you can be in for life,
Yeah, and then get out,
retried,
like,
escape, get captured again, and they're like, you know what?
That's
Get out of here. Get out of here.
That's so crazy.
Go on home now. Get.
That.
Not only that, they let her work in the school with children.
Yeah, this is.
Turns out,
so crazy.
1970s Midwest was not
not
doing their homework.
Premier justice.
They didn't care about their
epicenter.
kids back then as much.
Yeah, for sure.
She was suspended from her.
Well, they should. What if your kid, like, you know, smoked those funny sticks?
Well, then they're cool.
I mean, yeah.
Plus, back then, cigarettes were good for you.
Oh, that's true.
She was suspended from her position when in 2012, an anonymous caller tipped off the school district that Paula was once convicted of the death of 16-year-old Sylvia Likens. There we go.
Thank you.
Gertrude Baniszewski was granted parole on good behavior on December 4th, 1985. Jenny and a whole crowd of people picketed outside the prison to protest her release, but it was no use. Gertrude Baniszewski was set free.
I cannot believe that.
Thinking it's a sign. Well, by then she must be fucking old.
But regardless, that's like the most egregious thing ever. How do you just let someone, like, I don't know. That's
The only relief Jenny received came 5 years after Gertrude's release, when the murderess would die of lung cancer.
I can't believe
Some good
that
news, Jenny wrote to her mother with a copy of the woman's obituary. Damn, old Gertrude died. Haha, I'm happy about that. Hell yeah, Jenny.
Yeah, good for you, Jenny, but I can't believe that she did not die in a prison cell. That's so absurd.
Yeah, I mean, she should have died in an electric chair 20 years earlier.
That's true.
In my IMO.
IMO.
If I was like,
TBH IMO.
if I was a kooky Southern lawyer, I would have been like, I'll sentence you.
I'll
Sentence you to the electric chair. But, you know, shit happens, and we're not kooky Southern judges / lawyers.
And yeah, the world's a terrible place. Terribly dark and scary place. So,
and the only
go
reason
outside.
it's dark and scary is because me and Darce are not kooky Southern lawyers / judges.
Yeah, this podcast would be way better, though.
Sure would. I'll say it. Jenny never did blame her parents for what happened to her sister, which is kind of wacky.
That's
My mom was a really good mom, Jenny has said. All she did was trust Gertrude.
bars.
My mom was a really good mom, even though I don't know if I'd say she was a really good mom if she got like arrested for shoplifting, so you had to go like watch her sister get tortured and die with like the scariest woman on the block.
But hey, that's not for us to determine.
This is like every kid's nightmare, the babysitter who's like the evil old lady.
Yep, sure is.
So yeah, instead of a babysitter, I think if I have kids, I'm just gonna get like one of those like Saint Bernard dogs to take care of my kids.
Dude, I'm gonna get a Ring doorbell. Fuck that.
Alexa's gonna fucking watch them.
Yeah, I'd be like, Alexa, watch my kids, and she'd be like, the capital of Istanbul is. And I'm like, all right, close enough.
Yeah, by the time I had a kid, dude, my like Tesla fireplace is gonna be like rocking my kid to sleep and like making me coffee.
That is the dream, brother.
Hey, man, brother. But that's a horrible and depressing story of Sylvia Likens, and
we really hit a low point there in the middle.
Well, it's a real glimpse into the extremely dark side of humanity and how an entire community who seems like a chill group can just be very easily convinced to do horrible stuff when everyone else is doing it.
Yeah, that's nuts. Hated
real
it.
Group
hated most
vibes.
of that. Guys, don't go to scary old
Don't go
neighbors'
chasing
houses.
waterfalls either. That's what I thought you were going to say.
Dakota, I don't think I can say thanks for the suggestion, but
it's funny because all of our darkest stories are always listener suggestions.
yeah, you guys are into that deep dark.
They like get a little glimpse of our less dark descriptive like murders, and they're like, oh yeah, go darker.
They're like, oh, if you like this, you'll love. And
you like dark and depressing? Here, smoke this entire pack of dark and depressing.
Yeah, you just made us smoke the whole pack of sadness.
And my lungs. My lungs are sad.
Oh boy, am I feeling it.
Oh boy, are his arms tied. No, and actually, my lungs might be tired because Phil's car is still fucking running in this.
Yeah, it's all the fumes from Phil's wicked hot car.
Why did we do this in your garage, Phil?
Scones.
You didn't answer.
He seems to be
He's kind of
sleeping.
busy. He's got his hands in something on the engine. Phil, I think you're supposed to turn the car off when you do that.
No. You need the heat.
Okay, Phil, you're the mechanic. So, guys, thanks for listening to this week's episode. Holy moly, what a way to start Thanksgiving
Get
week.
ready to listen to the
Hope you enjoy your family time.
Listen to the Scones release of the season 1.
Yeah, of season 1 coming out. Go buy Taylor Swift's Red.
Episode 4 is going to be about my spooky relationship with Jake Gyllenhaal that ended in turmoil.
Absolute turmoil, baby.
Can't wait to get dragged by Swifties. Is that what they're called?
Shout out. I have no idea what you're saying.
Swift fans on the internet? What are the Taylor Swift fans?
What
are Taylor
I don't
Swift
know.
fans called? Swifties. There you go. Wow.
Hey, nice.
I guess
you
they're
did
as creative as I am.
Guys, shout out to all the new Patreon members. We've gotten a few new Patreon listeners.
Yes.
If you guys
new Julie
want
Patreonis?
some new Julie Patreonis, there's now going to be like 34 bonus episodes that you can listen. That's like almost a full season that you can listen to right now for $6. Pretty sweet deal if you ask me.
And some video tent as well.
And some video tent and
some fanfic.
Yeah, and some Scones Drunk fanfic. Make sure to reach out to us on Twitter with those sick hashtags we came up with at the top of the show. MMMacabrePod on Twitter, Monday Morning Macabre on Instagram, and MondayMorningMacabre.com for all of your merch, Patreon, and just general Monday Morning Macabre needs.
Stay safe traveling this week because it's the biggest week of the year for that shit.
Yeah, stay safe. Enjoy your crazy uncle's weird rhetoric, and I hope you guys have a beautiful Monday. Goodbye.
Boy.